My name is Lila, and I am an artist with a peculiar gift. I see through people. It's not a supernatural ability, but a honed instinct, a talent for observing the minute details others miss. The flicker of an eyelid, the tension in a knuckle, the story told by a worn-out spot on a silk rug. I paint souls, not just faces. Yet even with my perceptive eye, I could never have foreseen the labyrinth I would enter because of the strangest job of my life. It began with a phone call from my agent, Marcus. His voice, usually a languid drawl, was sharp with excitement. "Lila, darling, listen carefully. This is the golden ticket. A 1-week gig. You'll be playing the fiancée of Cameron Rose. The payment, a solid 5 figures. The name hit me like a block of ice. Cameron Rose, a walking, talking cliché of corporate ruthlessness, a man whose name was synonymous with hostile takeovers and a smirk that could freeze fire. He was the villain in the financial newspapers, a cynic in a bespoke suit, a gravedigger for small dreams, all polished with a disgusting amount of wealth. "Marcus, you cannot be serious," I protested, my grip tightening on the phone. "I'd rather paint with mud. Save the artistic integrity for your studio, which, if I recall correctly, is facing eviction," he retorted, his tone pragmatic and sharp. "This isn't a debate, Lila. It's a lifeline. He needs a convincing partner for a week of public appearances to quash a nasty rumor about his inability for intimacy. Apparently, investors prefer their tycoons to appear stable, family-oriented. The mention of my studio was a low blow, but an accurate one. The leaky roof, the looming rent, it was a constant gnawing anxiety. My art wasn't paying the bills, and this acting job was a sellout, but a necessary one. I was selling a piece of my integrity to save the very place that nurtured it. The irony was bitter. Our first meeting was in his penthouse, a sterile monument to success that soared above the city. The air was cold, filtered, and smelled of money and loneliness. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered a breathtaking yet soulless view of the skyline. There were no personal photographs, no messy stacks of books, no signs of life. It was a stage set, and he was its sole cold occupant. He greeted me not with a handshake, but with a slow, analytical gaze that swept over me from my scuffed boots to my brightly colored, tattooed forearms. I felt like an asset being assessed for flaws. "The terms are simple," he began, not offering me a seat. He stood by the window, his silhouette sharp against the glass. "You will impersonate my fiancée, Emily. We met 6 months ago at a charity gala for emerging artists. You are a free-spirited painter who has supposedly taught me to see life in more vibrant colors." He delivered the last phrase with such palpable sarcasm that I had the sudden, violent urge to hit him with my portfolio case. "And what happened to the real girlfriend?" I asked, my voice dripping with a feigned sweetness. He turned, his eyes, a disconcertingly cool shade of gray, meeting mine. "She found the pace of my life unsustainable. Now, a disgruntled former associate has started a whisper campaign about my emotional deficiencies. My reputation, and consequently my business, cannot afford this narrative. We despised each other from that moment. He, for my unconventional appearance and my refusal to be cowed, I, for his robotic coldness, for the sheer emptiness he projected. He was a marvel of engineering programmed for profit, but utterly devoid of a soul. I was sure of it. And so the play began. We were a masterpiece of deception. At glamorous photo shoots, I would laugh, tilting my head as if enchanted by his words, while his arm around my waist felt like a steel band. At soirees, we moved through the crowds, a golden couple. He would whisper endearments in my ear, "Smile, darling, the cameras are on us." His breath cool, his eyes scanning the room for important contacts over my shoulder. Our touches were calculated, our smiles perfectly synchronized, but our eyes were twin voids. I was a marionette, and he was the puppeteer, pulling strings made of money and lies. But then the cracks began to appear, tiny, almost invisible fissures in his polished armor that my artist's eye couldn't ignore. I noticed how, after his housekeeper had meticulously arranged the magazines on a glass table, he would subtly, almost imperceptibly, adjust the angle of a servant's spectacles left on a side table, ensuring they wouldn't slide off. A pointless, gentle gesture for someone who wouldn't return until evening. I saw that on his vast obsidian desk, amidst million-dollar contracts and sleek digital tablets, stood a single jarringly out-of-place object, an old, chipped glass trophy. It was tarnished, the inscription faded. He once caught me looking at it and said, "My talisman." From my first startup, quickly, defensively, as if ashamed of this tangible proof of a humbler past. These details were dissonant, like wrong notes in a perfectly composed symphony of arrogance. The culmination of our charade was a live national morning show interview. The morning of the interview, he was a coiled spring of tension. "Do not deviate from the text," he instructed, his gaze boring into me. The studio lights were blindingly hot. Cameron was flawless, his posture relaxed, his smile engaging. Then Clara turned her warm, inquisitive gaze to me. His smile was fixed, a masterpiece of dentistry and deceit, but his eyes, those cool gray eyes, were empty. I took the microphone, my fingers trembling slightly. I looked past Clara directly into the unblinking eye of the camera, and I began to speak. But the words that left my lips were not the ones on the script. In that moment, something inside me broke. I was tired of the lies, tired of being his pawn, tired of the gilded cage. I began to speak my truth, my heart racing as I embraced the vulnerability of the moment. The atmosphere in the studio shifted, electrified by the raw honesty I was unleashing. Every word I spoke felt like a step further into my own liberation. What had begun as a rehearsed charade was morphing into an unfiltered revelation. I felt the weight of every eye upon me, each gaze a push toward truth. As I embraced this moment, I realized I was no longer just playing a part, I was reclaiming my voice. Every sentence I spoke felt like an act of rebellion against the constraints that had bound me. In that moment, I transformed from a mere character in his story into the author of my own narrative. I felt the shift in the room, an electric connection forming between me and those who were witnessing my journey of self-discovery. With each truth I shared, the facade that had once felt so sturdy began to crumble. The moment became not just a revelation for me, but a reckoning for him as well. I recognized that this was the moment where I could redefine not only my story, but also our shared narrative. As I took another breath, I felt a surge of power coursing through me, liberating me from the shadows of deceit. The air was thick with emotion, each word I spoke igniting a spark of hope for both myself and those listening. I saw reflections of my struggle in their eyes, a shared humanity breaking through the barriers we had all built. In that powerful exchange, I found not just my voice, but a bridge connecting me to the hearts of everyone present. The applause resonated like a chorus of validation, echoing the strength it took to break free from silence. In that moment, I realized I was not just reclaiming my story, I was inspiring others to find their own voices. The journey we had undertaken together now felt like a shared awakening, a turning point for us both. In that moment of solidarity, I felt a bond form that transcended the scripted narrative we had both been trapped in. What began as a performance transformed into a celebration of truth, reverberating through the hearts of everyone present. The applause was not just for me, it was for every person who had ever felt silenced or confined by expectations. In that vibrant moment, I understood that the journey towards truth was one we could all embark upon together. As the segment came to a close, I felt empowered, no longer a pawn in someone else's game, but the heroine. With each round of applause, I reaffirmed my commitment to living my truth, unafraid of who I truly am. In that moment of triumph, I knew that this was just the beginning of a new path for both of us. The journey ahead promised to be filled with challenges, but I was ready to face them with courage and authenticity. We had shattered the illusion, and in doing so, I felt a powerful shift not only within myself, but also in the world around me. In that moment, I recognized the true power of authenticity. It could change lives, including my own. Together, we sparked a conversation that would reach far beyond that studio, igniting hope and inspiration in countless hearts. As we wrapped up, I felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the opportunity to finally be true to myself. I realized that the act of revealing my truth was not just freeing for me, it inspired others to do the same. In that moment, I understood how vital it is to live truthfully and to encourage others to find their own voices. It became clear that sharing our truths could weave connections stronger than any facade ever could. The moment was a reminder that vulnerability is not a weakness, it is a powerful bridge to deeper understanding and connection. As the applause echoed through the studio, I felt an unwavering resolve to continue this journey of authenticity both for myself and for others. This shared experience became a catalyst for change, igniting a movement toward honesty in our lives. With each passing moment, it became more evident that embracing our truths could illuminate paths for others seeking the same courage. As the interview drew to a close, I felt not only a sense of relief, but an undeniable power that comes from embracing one's true self. This journey had shifted not only my perspective, but also opened a door to deeper connections with others who were ready to be real. In that triumphant moment, I realized we were all part of something bigger, a movement towards authenticity that could inspire change far beyond this studio. In a vast, cold home office, In a vast, cold home office adorned with stark marble and steel, an old woven rug lies warmly tucked beneath a sleeping figure on the couch, underscoring the quiet gestures that reveal true essence. Inside a silent, mirrored elevator, two figures stand apart, one filled with shock and the other exuding calm certainty, creating an atmosphere charged with unspoken truths and an impending connection. In the confined space of the elevator, their gazes lock in a profound moment of understanding, transforming the atmosphere from tension to an unexpected bond, signaling a pivotal shift in their relationship. With her hand resting gently over her heart, the air is thick with the weight of honesty and vulnerability, hinting at the profound consequences of their shared moment as the world outside begins to fade into twilight. As he gazes out of the elevator's glass window, a look of deep contemplation crosses his face, reflecting the transformative impact of their shared truth amid the vibrant pulse of city life just beyond. In a softly lit corridor, they walk side by side, their body language relaxed and open, indicating the emergence of a new camaraderie born from their shared vulnerability and honesty. As they step into a cozy cafe bathed in warm light, the inviting atmosphere signals the beginning of a new chapter in their relationship, filled with potential for deeper understanding and connection. Seated across from each other in the cafe, their conversation flows effortlessly, laughter breaking the lingering tension as they begin to explore not just their professional collaboration, but also their personal connection. As one figure leans in, animatedly sharing a story, the atmosphere is filled with genuine interest and camaraderie, marking a significant shift from their earlier interactions. Through the cafe window, the bustling street outside serves as a backdrop to the warmth inside, where they create a safe haven filled with shared dreams and mutual understanding. In a burst of laughter shared between them, their joy radiates amidst the bustling cafe, signaling a blossoming relationship that embraces creativity and camaraderie. As they step out of the cafe into the warm sunlight, walking side by side, their shared glance reveals unspoken promises and aspirations, marking the dawn of a transformative partnership. Walking down a tree-lined street surrounded by the vibrant colors of autumn, their laughter echoes, symbolizing the joyful changes and personal growth unfolding in their lives together. As the sun sets behind the city skyline, casting vibrant hues across the sky, it symbolizes the beauty of new beginnings as they lean against a rail, basking in the warmth of their evolving relationship. Walking hand in hand along the waterfront, with city lights reflecting on the water, they embrace their intertwined paths and shared dreams, solidifying the trust and understanding that has blossomed between them. Sitting on a park bench under a starry sky, the soft glow of city lights envelops them, creating a romantic atmosphere as they share contemplative moments filled with dreams and aspirations for the future. Wrapped in blankets while sipping warm drinks, they find solace in shared silence beneath the rustling leaves, their bond deepening as illustrated by the sketches and notes in the sketchbook on their laps. In a playful moment, they toss autumn leaves into the air, laughter echoing through the crisp air, symbolizing the newfound joy and lightness that has blossomed within their relationship. Strolling along a scenic path adorned with colorful trees, their animated conversation and radiant smiles mirror the warmth of their blossoming friendship. Nestled on a blanket among blooming flowers in a vibrant park, they share lighthearted conversations, celebrating the simple pleasures that mark the sweetness of their developing bond. As they share a dessert, laughter fills the air while they playfully feed each other, capturing the playful intimacy that characterizes their blossoming relationship. Perched on a hilltop, they gaze over the horizon as the sunset bathes the sky in golden and purple hues, embodying their shared dreams and aspirations while finding solace in each other's presence. As they stroll hand in hand along the tranquil beach at twilight, the sound of waves echoes their sense of peace, each footprint in the sand marking the start of a beautiful new chapter in their lives. Seated on a beach blanket, they gaze up at seagulls soaring overhead, their expressions filled with wonder, as the shared seashell between them symbolizes the countless treasured memories they are creating together. As twilight descends upon the beach, they sit side by side with ocean waves caressing their feet, deepening their connection as their intertwined hands in the sand reflect the relaxed intimacy they have cultivated. Amidst the shimmering glow of the setting sun, they laugh and splash water at each other, encapsulating the carefree joy and spontaneity that now defines their blossoming relationship. Running along the beach with arms raised in celebration, their laughter harmonizes with the vibrant sunset, embodying the pure happiness and freedom that their relationship has discovered together. Gathered around a bonfire on the beach, the flickering flames create a cozy ambience as they share stories and laughter, deepening the intimacy of their connection under the starry night.